Hello, it's Rodrigo here. Here are some of the global variables that we have. These are all will have a different function in the game. And here the score will be just obviously to keep the score. This is for the wave number. This is the location. This is the location. This is X and this will be Y. This will be both X and Y. This is the number of enemies. Currency will be used to switch between um the display that you guys see right here right now, the game screen and the end screen. This is just a font that we use. And then game timer reset will both go hand in hand with the timer function that we had made for the game. We use the boolean for the still play, just true or false. If it's false, then you're not. The game will be over. This is just making hit mark X and Y equal to the position of mouse X and mouse Y. So wherever you hit with your mouse will be where the hit marker is. This is just the time for the hit marker, and then this will start the time. Here it goes into my partner's Bitmoji. So let's just skip over this. And here's the code for my Bitmoji. The next couple lines will be a bun class that we got from Khan Academy. And we used 3 total buns in this. The first one has the label start game, which you could see over here in the bottom middle of the screen. Bottom. This is what will happen once the button is clicked. Currency will switch from 0 to 1. As we could see up at the top, it was 0. And then the timer will start for start time. Then game time will just be start time minus how long ever game time has been going for. And still playing will be true as you'll be playing the game. The second button that we use is the restart game button. This will be on the end screen to take you back here to current scene 0 when the button is clicked, which will bring you back to this screen with the splash screen. And then the start time will reset, and your wave number will also reset to 1. And then last, the button number 3, it'll be inside the game, and it's just a quick game button, which will bring you to the end screen, current scene 2. All right, let's get into some of the code that was used towards the actual game. The hit marker code. This will just will make the hit marker position X and Y. The mouse X minus 100, moving it a little bit to the side. And then all this code right here is just to add some effects when the mouse is clicked. I'll show you guys this when we're in the game. Here is our splash screen with the background, the text size, all of that, and then the text displayed on the screen right here. We also add button 1 into the bottom, as you can see. Excuse me. This function is used to figure out the enemy location. So here we could see that the variables number X and number Y are equal to 0. So what we do is we use the for loop, which will go from I until it is equal to the enemy location. Well, less than. As long as I is less than enemy location, will go on. Which, let me see. What is number of enemy? Here, 30. So as long we'll run 30 times since it starts at 0 till 29. And what it'll do is it will push a random number between 20 and 360 for the X position. As you can see, it'll be X, and this one will push a random number from 60 and 360 into the Y position. And then after we get both of these numbers, we'll push them into the location of the X and Y location of the enemy. And then the array will the for loop will run back over, and the array will hold the location of X and location of Y. And then here's this being called. Let's talk about the game screen. So for these if statements, if the wave is equal to number 1 and the time is greater than 15 seconds, still play will equal to false. So what this means is if you're in wave number 1 and you go over 15 seconds, still your game will be over. It'll take you to the end screen and you won't be able to keep going. Let me just show you that real quick. So we're in wave 1 right now. Let's just wait until the timer goes above 15. And this keeps going. So for wave 2, you will have 30 seconds. Wave 3, you have 45. And then wave 4, you would have 60 seconds. And wave 5 is when you have 90 seconds, which is the 30 seconds for the last wave. And here you could see game over. Try again soon. Maybe next time you'll be faster. So, and then this is what will happen. If still plays true, you get the game. If not, that's when you get kicked out. It's the game right here. Okay, so this, what it is if your, let's say, wave number was 1 and the mouse X is greater than the location X by 1, location X, well, this would be 2, plus 5, minus 5, and by 60, and mouse Y is greater than the location of the enemy Y, the Y location of the enemy, and the Y location the enemy, plus 48. So that will kind of give you like a little circle. Then it'll print out the image over here, as we can see. So let me just try and see if I could find the enemy real quick. So here, so this is how you know that the location is greater than, that the mouse location is near the location of the enemy, because it draws it. So if you could see, let me try again. If you can see, it's not there, and when I hover over it, it'll be there. This is this if statement that's making it draw it there. And all these will go for different waves. So here's wave 1 will be this one, and then it's skip straight to wave 2. And here's, we could see that it's wave 3, but then it goes for score because the wave 3 is a little longer, and for you to beat wave 3, you need a score of it looks like it was, I think, 6, and then you move on. But let's move on. And here, yes, here's where it'll tell you. So these are if statements to just change the wave number when you're playing the game. So if you kill one enemy, which is your score goes up by 1 every time you hit an enemy, you'll move on to the wave 2. If you hit a score of 3, you move on to wave 3. If you hit a score of 6, you move on to wave 4. Score of 11, you move on to wave 5. And if you hit a score of 20, you move to the end screen because you have beat the game. Good job. Here, this is just going to print out score time wave at the top of the screen, and the button number 3, which I told you about, to quit the game. And if it's not, it'll printing that out, it'll still play will equal to false, and you'll be brought to the end screen. Now let's talk about the end screen. It has the button, as we can see in the middle, restart game. A lot of text in the middle of the screen. That's about it. The restart game button, when you click it, it'll bring you back to the splash screen. This mouse click function, this kind of basic. It just handles if the button is clicked, what it'll do, and when it can be clicked. This right here will start the timer. And when I goes until it becomes, it goes while it's less than game time plus 800. Which I'm not really sure what number that is. I'll have to double check. And this is just how we manage the scoring. So if mouse X is greater than the location of X and mouse X is greater than the location is less than the location of X plus 50, and then the mouse Y same thing, minus 5 plus 65, because I believe that's the size, the height of the enemy is around 65. Then it'll score will be plus plus. And then you could see if wave number is 2, it'll be the same scoring as well for all these rounds. So these statements are kind of just repeating themselves, but changing which array is being pushed into location Y and location X. If you remember earlier, we had a loop that pushed a bunch of random X's and Y's. These are how they're used here. Keep going. And this currency equals 2. We'll handle this button right here. Send it back. And then this draw function, it just keeps drawing over and over. So it kind of just keeps everything just updating. I believe it's at 30 frames per second. So that you have like your time being drawn over and over again. So let me just start game. You could see the time is drawn over and over again without being without having being left behind and just drawing over itself. And then here you could see the score also moves up and the last score disappears as it is drawn over. And you could see the wave also moves up. And now I will show you how the quit button, when it's hit, take it to the end of the screen, show you your total score and the waves that you survived.